everyone, this is Kavita. Welcome back to my channel KSD Learning Time. Today we are going to learn two stories about flying. Its first part, his first flight. So let's start. The young seagull, a bird that lives near the sea and has short legs and white grey feathers, was alone on his ledge. Ledge means narrow, flat, shelf-like place on the edge. And his two brothers and his sister, means his siblings, had already flown. Flown is the past verb of fly. They flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink means you can say edge of land, exactly before a water body from where these birds can take flight over the water, and that was there of the ledge, and attempted tried to flap his wings. He became afraid. The great expanse means wilderness, vast of sea, stretched down beneath means below, too deep down in the earth, and it was such a long way down, miles down. Here exactly what had happened in this story. There is a seagull who has to learn to fly like his brothers and his sister, and his brothers and sister has already flown away, and just he has remained behind just because of his afraidness. He used to afraid to fly over the water body. He used to think that the great sea is too deep down in the earth. It is too vast, and if I will try to fly over it, I will sink into the sea. And he was not even trusting on his wings, that his wings will flap and it will help him to fly over the ocean. He felt certain is possible that his wings would never support him. Means he couldn't trust his wings. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he usually used to sleep or sit. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, means his siblings, whose wings were exactly far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, the place from where they can take their flight on the water body, they all flapped their wings and they flew away. But the seagull, who used to afraid of flying, he failed to gather up the courage to take his first plunge, first jump flight over the water body, and just because of that he was too desperate, he was too sad. His father and mother, means his parents, had come around calling to him shrilly, loudly, upbraiding means in angry manner, and they were threatening him that they will let him starve, they will keep him without food on his ledge unless he flew away, unless he tried to fly away. But for the life of him, means he used to afraid to take flight, so he couldn't move from that place. And that was 24 hours ago. These all things happened, and since then nobody had come near him to see him that exactly what he is doing or what is going on. Nobody has given him any kind of food. The day before, all day long, his whole day, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, with his siblings, perfecting them in the art of flight. They were teaching them how to take first flight, how to fly, teaching them how to skim the waves, means how to skim, pass lightly over the water bodies, and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother, his wings already too short than him, and catch his first herring, means his first fish. Herring is kind of fish, and they were eat quickly, and standing on a rock happily that at least he has completed his first fish catching task. And while his parents circle around him proudly, and they started making happy sound, cackling is the sound of seagull, and they all were cackling proudly nearby him. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. Means the whole day all the family members were just taunting him that he is the coward, he is having absence of bravery, he is not that much brave seagull, he can't take his first flight. The sun was now ascending the sky. Ascending the sky means sun was rising up, blazing, hitting on his ledge, and that ledge, its face was towards the south, and he felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall from last night. And he stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wings, means he was trying to pretend that he's standing on one leg and he's trying to take his first flight to get his family's attention. Next, what he has done, let's see in the next paragraph. As we have seen, he was standing on his one leg, he closed in his one eye also, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep to get his family's attention. Still they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and sister, his siblings, lying on the plateau, dozing, means you can say sleeping unintentionally just because of tiredness, with their heads sunk into their necks. Their heads were stuck into each other's necks, and his father father was cleaning the feathers on his white back. No one noticed him where he was trying to get his family's attention. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust means pushed forward. Now and again she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped means she has cleaned and sharpened up each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him. Now here his mother was standing on another plateau, eating a fish while she noticed him, and the seagull got mad on seeing the fish because he was too hungry. From last night, from 24 hours, he hadn't eaten anything. He liked to tear away fish and scrap his beak now and then, like his mother. By the sight of the food, he was just maddened, and he was waiting for his mother that she will come and she will give that the piece of fish in his beak. He loved to tear food and scraping his beak now and again to sharpen it like his mother. Gah gah gah, he cried, begging her to bring him some food. By doing this, gah gah gah, he was calling to his mother to bring some food for him. Gaw kulaha, his mother responded. She screamed back derisively. Derisively means in angry manner she has responded him, because he was told he will starve, he will not get any kind of food unless he try to fly. But he kept calling plaintively. Sadly, he kept calling his mother, and after a minute or so he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. And after a few minutes, when he has seen that his mother had picked up a piece of the fish and she is coming towards him, he leaned out eagerly, means he come ahead eagerly to get nearer to his mother, that she was coming towards him, and there was a piece of fish in her beak. With excitement, he was tapping the rock with his feet, but when she was just opposite to him, she halted. She stopped somewhere else, her wings motionless. The piece of fish in her beak was almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then maddened by hunger, and this was the moment where out of excitement and hunger he dived at the fish, without realizing for a moment that he was afraid to fly. Then a monstrous terror seized him. Seized means stop him, and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. Yes, for a moment he was in shock and stood still out of terror. But all this lasted for a moment, and soon feathers opened as he tried to fly, and he could feel the wind against his breast, feathers, stomach and his wings, and he could feel himself cutting through the air, and he was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid of flying now. He just felt a bit dizzy, means nervous, just because of some tiredness. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared, means he was flying upwards. Gah gah gah, gaw kulaha. His mother swooped and passed from him. Swooped means very quickly she passed from him, and she has screamed gah gah gah, gaw kulaha, and her wings making a loud noise also. And he answered her, his mother, with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister, means his siblings, flying around him. They were curveting. They were trying to fly in different directions and banking and soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he was not always been able to fly, and ordered himself to dive and soar, curve, and he was shrieking loudly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean, where he used to afraid of vast green sea, which is too deep beneath the earth, he used to think. Now he was trying to fly over the ridges. Ridges means the place, land which will be there on the hills, on mountains, and he turned his beak sideways. He was too happy to turn his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. He was cackling very happily. His parents and siblings landed on this green flooring ahead of him, and they were beckoning. Beckoning means they were gesturing, doing action to call him. They were loudly calling him. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea, and his legs sank into it in the sea, and he screamed with fright, with happiness, and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. Means here he was enjoying flapping his wings and fly high over the water body. But now he was too tired, weak, and hungry to fly again, to rise again. He was exhausted. He was tired by the strange exercise, and first thing, as he hadn't eaten anything from last 24 hours, there was no energy remained in him. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched to the water of green sea, and he sank no farther. He was just floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, shouting happily, praising him. They were cackling, and their beaks were offering him scraps, the piece of dogfish. He had made his first flight. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel.